Really calling myself out with this one. I feel like a little bit of a fraud being a booktuber and having not read any of these books before. So I'm just removing that from my brain. Ooh. Hi, my name's Jodie and welcome to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about all the book series that I haven't read before, and yeah, I'm really calling myself out with this one because some of these are extremely popular and pretty much everyone within the book community probably has already read all of these books, and yeah, I just haven't, and they're very popular series. So yes, I am hoping to get to all of these series in 2021, but who knows, will I? Probably not, but I mean, I'm going to try. Some of them I know I probably will definitely read, and some probably won't get to. There of course are plenty of other series that I am yet to read that just aren't in this video, so we're just gonna forget about that and go with what I've got in this little stack next to me. But I won't be going into too much detail today about all of these books, just because I feel like a lot of them you guys are probably already really familiar with, and I don't want this video to be incredibly long. But yeah, these are the series that I just really need to read, and I feel like a little bit of a fraud being a booktuber and having not read any of these books before. So yeah, I don't know why. I'm really excited though, because I've heard really good things about all of the books in this pile, and I know for sure I'm going to absolutely adore some of these. So yeah, let's just get straight into the video. So first up we have a Victoria Schwab book. Now I have said in some other videos that I want 2021 to be the year that I do finally read a lot of Victoria Schwab books. I read Addie LaRue in 2020 and I absolutely loved it, and I fell in love with the writing, so I am making this year a year for Victoria Schwab. I really do want to get through a lot of her books. I also want to get through her, I think it's Vicious, I don't know if that's what the duology is called, that one, and Our Savage Song or something. I want to read both of those as well, but this is the series of hers that I want to talk about today, and that is the A Darker Shade of Magic series. So yes, you've probably all heard of this series before. So many people adore this series and absolutely love it, and I'm quite excited to read this. I'm not really sure if it's going to be my cup of tea or not, like we shall see. In this there are magicians called Antari, I believe, and there are parallel Londons. So we have red, grey and white London, and then there was also a black London that no longer exists or people can't travel to. So yes, we have these Antari who are magicians, and they travel in and out of all these different versions of London. And in this story we follow Kel, and Kel was raised in Red London, I believe, and she like officially serves as an ambassador or something like that for some kind of empire, and she's basically a smuggler. She travels in and out of all these different Londons, and then one day something goes wrong and she's facing a lot of repercussions, and she escapes to Grey London where she meets Delilah Bard. So firstly she decides to rob him, and then she ends up saving him from one of his deadly enemies. And this says, now perilous magic is afoot and treachery lurks at every turn. To save all of the world, they'll first need to stay alive. So yeah, I don't really know a lot about this, and it doesn't really tell you much in my opinion from the synopsis. I think with this one I do just want to go into this without knowing a lot at all, because I feel like with this I could be easily talked out of this book with there being so many different Londons and stuff. That's not something I usually particularly like in a series. I don't know why, I just find that kind of hard to keep up with, and I hope I don't get confused by all the different versions of London that there are. But I've heard so many great things about this series, so I do definitely want to give it a go, and like I said, I really want to read some more Victoria Schwab's writing, and this seems to be her most popular series, so I'm very excited to get to this. And yeah, I think there's 3 books in this series, so I guess not like the biggest series to read and easily doable, but I don't know, we shall see. Hopefully I do get to this one. But yes, this is definitely a series I've been meaning to read for a very long time and just haven't gotten to. If you have read this series, do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, or if you can give me a little bit of a better explanation as to what this is about, because I honestly have no clue, to be honest. Then next we have Caraval by Stephanie Garber. So this is a series I own 2 different editions of and still have not read. If I'm being honest, I'm not too fussed about the sound of this book anymore. Like, I really wanted to read it for the longest time because so many people adore this book. I know it's a favourite for a lot of people and a lot of people love her writing, but to be honest, I'm not really into the kind of vibe of this book. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. It's basically Caraval is this faraway once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show. So I think the main character Scarlett goes with her sister, I believe. Her sister is kidnapped by the mastermind of Caraval, who's called Legendary. Oh, he's called Legend. This season's Caraval revolves around Teller, and whoever finds her first is the winner. Scarlett has been told that everything that happens during Caraval is only an elaborate performance. Nevertheless, she becomes enmeshed in a game of love, heartbreak and magic. Where Caraval is real or not, Scarlett must find Teller before the 5 nights of the game are over, or a dangerous domino effect of consequences will be set off and her beloved sister will disappear forever. It sounds fun, but at the same time, something about this is just telling me that I'm not gonna like it. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings towards this book of whether or not I'm excited for it or not. But I do still really want to read it because it is a very well-known and well-loved series, and I do feel like I'm missing out. I own 2 different editions of it, so I feel like I owe it to my books to read this, but I don't know. I don't know if I definitely will. It's not the longest book or the longest series, and I have heard that Stephanie Garber's writing is really good, and she does have a new book coming out this year which I do really want to read. So I mean, I think I'll give at least the first book a go, but whether or not I'll read the full series, who knows. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised by this book, but my expectations just aren't very high for this series at all. I'm predicting I'm going to find this very overhyped, but we shall see. So then next we have one that I am very excited to read because I've heard so many good things about this. This has been about for quite some time now, and yeah, I really do want to read this. And that's Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lani Taylor, and I adore this cover. It is just stunning. It's so nice, and I don't know a lot about this. I'm just pretty sure there's angels in here or something. I don't know, I might got that wrong. So this follows Carew, I think is how you pronounce her name, and she lives 2 different lives, and she works for this guy. So in one of her lives she's just a regular 17-year-old girl living in Prague, and she's an art student, and then in her other life she is an errand girl to this monstrous creature who is the closest thing she has to family. And she was raised in a place called Elsewhere, I think, and half in like the normal world, I believe. I think the person she like works for in this other place is like really confusing to her. He does a lot of stuff she doesn't understand. I think his name's Brimstone. Then one day the doors to Elsewhere start to close, and Carew must decide between staying in this world of Elsewhere full of danger and her closest thing to family lives, or does she live her life as a normal human being in the human world and go with her art. But the only thing is, this world called Elsewhere might hold the answers to things she's been looking for a long time, because she doesn't quite feel whole like a regular human being should. And that's kind of all I know about this. I don't really know a lot about it at all. Like, I don't know. I've just heard lots of good things about this as a fantasy series. A lot of people said this is absolutely amazing. There's 3 books in this series, and I finally tracked down all of the original hardcovers, so now that I own them I really do want to read them, and I hope I manage to this year. I'm just very intrigued by the sound of this, like Otherworld, and I don't know, like I'm pretty sure there's like, it's like angels or something, or I don't know, something similar like that in here. But yeah, I just really want to read something of Lani Taylor's as well, because she is an author I hear of a lot and I just have never gotten to. So I feel like this will be a really good series of hers to read. I'm very excited, and I really do hope that I enjoy this series. But yeah, we shall see. But I do plan to try and read all 3 books this year, but I don't know. So next up we have one of the most popular duologies in the entire universe. Everyone talks about these books, everyone's read them, most people love them. Now I'm very hesitant about this duology. I'm in 2 minds. One half of my brain is saying like, oh god, don't read it, it's written by an author you've not enjoyed any of her writing before. And then the other half of me is like, you've been told a million times that this is different kind of writing style and you're gonna love it. So I don't know. I really don't know. There's only one way to find out whether or not I'm gonna love this, and that is to read it. And that's exactly what I'm hoping to do this year. So that is 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So yes, as you're probably familiar with, we have 6 of Crows and then Crooked Kingdom. Don't know a lot about this. I just know it follows a group of characters who try and pull off this like big heist or something. That's literally the only thing I know about this series. I've never bothered to really read into it more because I feel like I wouldn't probably read it otherwise, because I don't really tend to enjoy series where there is a lot of different characters. So I want to go into this really open-minded, not knowing much about it, and kind of just go on the journey of whatever happens inside this book. But my only issue is I really dislike the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I I think the writing in that is not great. I don't get on with the writing. I hated all the characters. So I'm very, very hesitant about her other books, and obviously this is still a YA book, and this is set in the Grishaverse universe, I believe. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about this, but on the other hand, a lot of people have said to me that her writing is very, very different in these books and a lot better. So I am hoping that will be the case, and I will really, really enjoy this duology. And I do want to read it because it is one of the most popular YA books, well, duologies out there, and I feel a bit left out because I've not read it. So I definitely do plan to get to this year. Really, really hoping that I'm not disappointed, but I'm going in with no expectations, so we shall see. Then next we have one that there's been a lot of hype about for recently, because I think the 4th book in this series comes out. I do have it pre-ordered because I do plan to read all of them, and I do own the 1st and 2nd book. I still need to pick up the others, but that is the Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. So yes, you're all probably very familiar with this book as well. Don't know a ton about this at all, but it is a pretty looking book. I have seen a lot of talk about this online. Oh, I think I just saw a bookmark in here. Oh, there's a bookmark. Someone left a bookmark in here. I did buy this secondhand, so it's, ooh, that's cool. I didn't know that was there. Interesting. So it says this is set in 2059, so it's futuristic. Okay, that's quite cool. And we follow 19-year-old Paige Mahoney, and she works in the criminal underworld of London, based at the Seven Dials, employed by a man named Jackson Hall. Her job is to scout for information by breaking into people's minds. Oh, I do remember what this is about now, because I believe that this is quite like frowned upon and like a bit of a taboo, and not a lot of people know about it, and it's something to kind of keep on the down low, I believe. So she's called a dream walker or a clairvoyant, and yeah, it's simply like anyone like her who exists who has this ability, that in itself is treason, and she shouldn't even be alive and walking around basically. And then one day she is attacked, drugged and kidnapped, and she gets transported to Oxford. And Oxford is a city that's actually been kept secret for 200 years and no one knows about it, and it's controlled by a powerful otherworldly race called the Rephium, I think is how you pronounce it. So then Paige gets assigned to this warden, and he's her master. He's got to try and like teach her stuff and all this stuff and train her, and this guy is obviously her natural enemy as well. But it says if Paige wants to regain her freedom, she must allow herself to be nurtured into this prison where she is meant to die. I'm very intrigued. It does sound good. I've just heard so many mixed things as well about this series, and my favourite genre is YA fantasy. I don't like any fantasies that's too heavy or too complex, and I don't know what this will be like. And I did read the Prayer of the Orange Tree, and I didn't particularly like it. I could see that Samantha Shannon is a great writer, but it was just a bit too heavy for me, and I just hope that the world building isn't too intense in this book, and that I get on with her writing a lot more in this book. So yes, I am a bit nervous about this one, but I do want to read it and see what the hype's all about. So next we have Nevernight by J. Kristoff. So this is probably the one I'm most excited for out of all of these books. I really cannot wait to read this. I've been meaning to read something by J. Kristoff for a long time. I have read Illuminate by him, which I absolutely hated, but I don't hold that against him. It's YA, and it was written with another author, and it's sci-fi, and I just don't really like it. So I'm just removing that from my brain and pretending I've never read anything by him before. But this is a totally different kind of book. This is adult fantasy, and this is one that I've been wanting to read for the longest time. I've had so much hype about, and I'm just really intrigued to see what J. Kristoff's writing is like. So yeah, I believe this does follow an assassin. I think it follows a young girl. So her name is Mia. She was only 10 years old when she first got a lesson in death. So I think her entire family was murdered in front of her. And then it says 6 years later, the child raised in shadows takes her first steps towards keeping the promise she made on that day that she lost everything. But the chance to strike against such powerful enemies will be fleeting. So if she is to have her revenge, Mia must become a weapon without equal. She must prove herself against the deadliest of friends and enemies, and survive the tutelage of murderers, liars and demons at the heart of a murder cult. And it says the Red Church is no ordinary school, but Mia is no ordinary student. The shadows love her and they drink her fear. So I've got a feeling that she's going to have some kind of like dark power or magic or something, or ability of some sort. Obviously she's a badass assassin by the sounds of it. I'm just really, really into that. I love like a good revenge plot, something where the main character doesn't let anything get in their way. They're going to get their revenge. They're going to get rid of the horrible people who've wronged them. I just love the sound of this. I love this kind of story. I love assassin kind of stories. And yeah, I think this is going to be really, really good. And I think there's going to be a lot more to this than what meets the eye. And it says on the back as well, be advised the pages in your hands speak of a girl who has to murder as masterous art to music. A girl some called Pale Daughter or Kingmaker or Crow. A killer of killers whose tally of endings only the goddess and I truly know. Very intrigued, very intrigued. I really cannot wait to get to the series. I do hope that I love it. Whether or not I will remains to be seen, but this just sounds like something I would love. Revenge, a really cool badass heroine, maybe some dark kind of ability or something, I don't know, but I love the look of this as well, and I think this is quite a dark fantasy, so I'm all here for that, and I'm very excited to experience some J. Kristoff writing, so we shall see how I feel about this. This is a trilogy. I do own all 3 books, so I do plan to read them all, and hopefully I love him. And then lastly we have one I have already spoken about in a few videos now, and in my 21 books I want to read in 2021, so I'll have that linked up here or in the description bar. But that is the Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So yeah, you're all probably really familiar with this. This book is the only book I've ever seen to receive so many 5-star ratings by literally everyone. People from all different like genres, like people who read all different kinds of books, have then read this and rated it 5 stars. And yeah, I've just never seen this level of praise for a book series before, and I'm just so excited to read this. This does kind of include a lot of, I think it's Chinese, is it myth? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of like Chinese history and myth in this book. I could be wrong. I know it's a really dark and intense book. There are a lot of trigger warnings in this book as well, so I've said this in videos before, if you're thinking of reading this, please do read up on the trigger warnings first, because this is full of them, and it is a very intense read, I am told. And this is a fantasy, and we have gods in here as well, and it's a story of war and power and vengeance, and there's just a lot of dark themes in here. I'm really interested to see how this series plays out, to see if this lives up to the hype for me. And yeah, I just can't wait to read this series. I think it is going to be a really powerful one, and it's probably going to make me cry, and I'm here for it. But that does conclude all of the book series that I haven't read but want to try to read this year. I know you're probably going to be shocked by some of these, and I definitely should have read some of them. There are a lot of other series I do want to read that I haven't read yet, like a lot of Cassandra Clare's books I still really need to make my way through, and some other authors' books, but these are the main ones I do want to focus on, and these I think are the most like shocking ones, which is why I've chosen them for this video. But yeah, I'm hoping to read most of these this year. I don't know if I'll read the full series, the first book, we shall see, I don't know. But if you have read any of these books yourself or the whole series, please do let me know in the comments what you thought of them, if you think that I'm going to enjoy them. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. I will have all of these books linked down in the description box, so you can go and read the full synopsis there for them to find out more information and see if it's something for you, because a lot of these are adult books. I would make sure if you're younger you check out what's in them first, and also check for trigger warnings as well, because quite often with adult fantasy books there are a lot of trigger warnings in there, so please do make sure you do check those out first. But yes, I'm very excited for all of these books. I really hope that I do love most of them. There's probably going to be one or two I maybe won't vibe with, but we shall see. I'm being optimistic and hoping that I will love them all. I'm really not sure which one I'm going to pick up first. I really do think Nevernight's probably the one that's calling my name the most, and it's going to be the one I'm going to go for first, because I've been meaning to read that series for so long. But yeah, I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this video anyway, and if you are new here, my name is Jodie. I make bookish videos 2 to 3 times a week. I do reading vlogs, TBRs, other stuff. I host live shows, and yeah, I'd love to have you join my channel and chat to me in the comments and stuff, and yeah, just have a nice fun like bookish time on my channel. And all my social medias will be linked down in the description box, so you can find my Instagram, my Twitter and my Goodreads account all down there, along with my Amazon wishlist and some really important links that are worth checking out if you do have the time. But yes, I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have the time, please do give me a big thumbs up and leave a comment as well. Let me know your thoughts on these books, or just comment an emoji like a black heart or something, or just anything you like. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!